It was like a few
Okay.
days ago. And we've been talking every single day. And so first I was watching your YouTube videos and I actually had some notes that I was writing and I
Oh,
wanted to
wow.
ask you there was I was writing notes for the show because it was a lot of things that I didn't know. You know a lot more than me. And then I want to talk about the reading that you did because it was awesome for me. And yeah, it was nice. Um, all right, so the listeners already know that I was on the twin flame journey. I mentioned it a few times. And when I met you, you seem to know a lot about it because you have like 5 years of experience with it. I just found out. Found a lot of similarities like when you were talking on YouTube and I wrote the notes. So for example, you said when you guys first separated it was very easy, right? And for me
Yes.
too. For the first week is like heaven, like almost like a relief, right? Oh, this monster is out of my life. But the more time goes by, the harder it is for me.
Well, I was quite angry at him at the time because I could kind of feel there was somebody else on the horizon.
Oh
I
yeah. Well,
felt I felt lied to. I felt like he didn't really want to tell me why he was breaking up with me. It all sounded like an excuse.
for
So
me it was the same. Oh, okay, go ahead. Sorry.
so I was pretty angry about that. I thought, for fuck's sake, why can't he just tell me the fucking truth?
Yeah.
And then, I just thought, oh, he's an arsehole. How do I deal with arseholes? Oh, I just forget about him, you know. So in the beginning, I wasn't so phased by it all. I thought, prick, just another fucking prick in my life. So, and yeah, but the more time went on and the more I was observing what was going on around me, I was like, nah. And then, yeah, I had this phase of this can't be. I've got to be able to get out of this somehow. You know,
Same. Same.
I had
I've
a
been
long phase of resistance, you
Yeah,
know.
so the same is that's why I found the similarities because none of my friends understand. They think I'm addicted, they think I need therapy. I was trying to find
Oh,
an answer.
oh God.
For for the longest time, I thought he was a narcissist because it was very similar. Bipolar and narcissism, that's very similar. And I didn't know he was bipolar. Then I thought I was in the trauma bond. Did you ever hear about trauma? Scientific explanation to it. So whatever's happening. But no matter what I did, it didn't make sense. It
Well,
just not. Yeah.
I tried to. I When he actually got with somebody else, I thought, okay, well, he can move on from this. Yes,
Yeah.
so he can move the fuck on. Evidently, I didn't mean to him what he meant to me, and I'm not going to waste my time with that shit.
Yeah.
And I spent a lot of time and money trying to opt out. Yeah,
Yeah.
going to shamans, healers, Reiki healers, you name it. Yeah, and no matter what I did or what they did, it made me feel physically ill. It
Oh,
was,
really?
yeah,
It
it
makes
made
you
me.
feel ill when you try to resist?
No, when you try and cut the cord,
I did that once.
what it is, we've got like this, all of us, yeah, we've got like this silver entwined rope, yeah, that goes from one heart chakra to the next. It's a
Uh-huh.
bit like an umbilical cord. Yeah, if that's what you want to call it, even though it's not quite, but energetically it's like an umbilical cord. Yeah,
Yeah.
you are that is your connection. That is what fuses you to that other person. And when you try and cut it, it bleeds. It hurts. It
Oh,
damn near.
wow. So if it was like a physical umbilical cord, it would hurt. Just like we talk about
Yes,
me and
yes.
Yana, we talk about when somebody leaves you, they rip your heart out. Obviously, they're not ripping your heart out. Your heart is still
No,
there.
but they're severing that
Yeah.
tie. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what it
Now with
is.
twins, it's because it's eternal. You can't really do it. You just inflict pain upon yourself.
I
It's
noticed that. I'm so happy you're saying that because I noticed that. The more I was trying not to love him, the harder it was for me. So when I eased into this connection and I said, you know what? There's nothing wrong with love. We don't have to be together, but feeling love is a good thing. You know, it's a good energy. So finally gave up. That's when everything started working out for me. You know, that's when I did the show
Right.
and all.
I want to stop you there. Giving up is not the same as surrendering.
I used the wrong word. I meant probably surrender. Just
You want,
myself to
but there
feel.
are different phases of surrender.
Uh-huh.
There is the phase of surrender where we say, okay, we've got this connection with someone, even if they might not be aware of the label or what it actually is or what it means. Yeah, because we don't. We haven't got a fucking clue. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, you know, that's the first surrender. Yeah, where we actually say, okay, it is what it is.
Yeah.
The second surrender is surrendering to the fact that you can love someone that isn't physically in your life, even though society teaches you that they should be.
I did
Yeah.
that. Yeah. It came to me naturally. Now you confirming it. What's another
The
surrender?
another surrender is surrendering into the fact that you're not in control of the spirit.
Yeah. And how did it happen to you? Did you get a
Tough,
mentor?
tough, tough. I've been kicking and screaming a lot. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I went into this kicking and screaming, and this cannot be. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why have I always been able to walk out of anybody's life like they are nothing? And this person that isn't even really my normal type
Same.
got such a fucking hold on me, you know. But
Same.
I
Same.
didn't realize that it's not him that has that hold on me. It's how planned and orchestrated this is between you, your twin, and source. You know,
Mm-hmm.
one divine feminine that I worked with, she said to me, "Why is it so easy for them and hard for us?"
I think
And
it's easy for them. I think it's harder for them.
I said to her, "Look," I said, "at the end of the day, our journeys are very different from one another. Divine feminines learn to listen to their intuition, listen to what they feel, and not necessarily what's coming out of your masculine's mouth, because that's all fucking bullshit." Yeah.
So
He's
true.
lying to himself. You're not
Yep.
going to get the truth out of someone who was lying to themselves. End of. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, we learn to listen to what we can feel and listen to our intuition and listen to source. Whereas the masculine learns through physical experiences. They don't learn the same way we do. This is why you will often observe that uh, it's predominantly masculines, whether you're man or woman makes no difference, but it's predominantly people in the masculine energy that end up with karmic partners, either during separation or just before, or that already married when their twin comes into their life. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
because yeah, it's they learn through physical experiences, and that
So
person gives them those experiences for
so
better or worse.
let me ask you this. We were just talking about it yesterday. I'm not sure if I'm divine masculine or divine feminine. I really am not. Because
Okay,
he
well,
is
would
the
you
chaser.
classify? Right, okay, he's the chaser. So
Yeah.
you're probably in the divine masculine energy, because 9 times out of 10, it's the masculine that is the runner.
Oh, he's not running out for me. He's not running.
I've got to say this. In the course of your journey, you can often observe that this switches. Yeah. The reason for this is a lack of balance of the feminine and masculine within each twin. Yeah.
Yeah.
It flips. Yeah. You will have phases where your masculine pursues you as a feminine, and then when you respond and you stay still and you start to respond and reciprocate, they run.
Yeah. I think
So it can, in the course of a journey, switch. The reason this running and chasing goes on in the first place is because when two twins meet, they're often still in that polarized feminine and masculine energy, which means that as well as attracting each other, they're repelling each other at the same time.
yeah.
Yeah. So it's this constant running and chasing and running, and it flips, you know, and it switches. And it can lead to a lot of emotional confusion, you know.
With cognitive dissonance. Did you ever hear of cognitive dissonance?
Yes,
It's like you have two realities that are true
yes.
at the same time, and that's what
Well,
drives you insane.
I said in one of my videos that a lot of feminines will observe that what is coming out of their masculine's mouth and what they are letting them feel are two different things. And that
Different things.
is another cognitive
Dissonance.
dissonance, you know?
Yeah, and that's why it's so painful, because it's like usually I know what to do. I never was so confused in my entire life. I remember one situation, okay, I'm gonna tell you. So it was his birthday, and we had a big party planned. It was gonna be a beautiful day. I went to get my lashes done for over $100, and I get to his house early because we needed to do a little renovations. He's all stressed out from something that happened before me that I wasn't even present for. So he starts screaming and yelling at me to the point that I'm hysterical crying. I cannot handle this. He's a crazy monster, crazy person. But at the same time, I know I can't walk away, because if I walk away right now, his birthday is going to be ruined, and then we're going to be broken up again and miserable. So it's like I'm sitting there being abused and I can't walk away. That was the worst.
Right. First thing I want to say to that is something that my divine masculine said to me. Never accommodate negative behavior.
I know.
Whether that is coming from your twin or anyone else, which is one of the main divine feminine lessons in this is actually self-worth, believe it or not.
Believe that's for sure now.
Knowing where your worth is and recognizing your worth and putting your own well-being even over the love you have for your twin, and learning to love yourself more than your twin.
I was just saying on one of the episodes, I was like, this was the first time in my life where I sincerely felt sorry for myself. I felt compassion for myself for the first time in my life. I was bawling, crying in the car and saying, I'm so sorry about what happened to me. I don't deserve this. But, now it's different. Now why it happened and what was the purpose of it.
Well, the thing is, a lot of divine feminines are shown this over the course of time, the same as masculines are. And just because we don't see them suffer it doesn't mean that they're not. A lot of divine feminines think, oh, he doesn't give a fuck. How can he just ghost me like that? How can. But fact of the matter is, when the masculine goes quiet, he's processing.
Yeah. Like when you were doing the reading for me and you did the messages from him, and it sounded so accurate. I couldn't believe it, because on one hand he's saying he loves me, and on another hand he's saying I can't even look at you right now. I'm not ready to come back. I'm unbalanced, basically talking about mental health. I'm afraid what people are going to think, and I was given a bad advice. All of that is really accurate to my situation. Because a lot of people are judging us. Everybody. I feel like his whole family at this point is saying,
what I want to say about judgment in the twin flame journey is this: it's meant to be that way, and I'm going to tell you now why. Because how can we teach humanity that love overcomes all differences and societal values and norms and constraints if we haven't seen that happen to us for ourselves?
yeah, that makes sense.
So, whatever you're going through with your twin, where society would normally say, how can that even fucking work? It shouldn't even fucking work. Well, that is the purpose of the whole goddamn exercise. You are here to show people that love literally conquers everything.
Crying right now. I get so emotional when I talk about this. It's true. It's true. I was talking about on the self-love episode that love, unconditional love is, well, first of all, that was the first time I felt unconditional love for a man. It's like maternal. It doesn't matter what he does. It doesn't matter if I didn't see him for 2 months. I still feel that love.
My twin walked out on my life for 2.5 years after telling me that he loves me.
After 2.5 years?
No, he told me he loves me and then disappeared for 2.5 years.
For 2.5 years. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. I mean, what you mean disappeared completely? Like no contact?
Yes, like no contact. I was blocked. Yeah, he just fucked off.
Never block you if you're not special. If you are blocked, that means you are really rocked his world. I've heard that many times.
So I was blocked for 2.5 years, and then all of a sudden he unblocked me. I nearly died. Yeah, he just all of a sudden unblocked me
And
and sent me a message, and I'm like, holy fucking shit.
did you send him a message?
No, he sent me one. Don't go crazy right now or nothing. But my nan died, and that put things
Oh, his
into
mom.
perspective. No, his nan, his grandma.
Oh, his
And
grandma.
she passed away just before Christmas. And he still hasn't told me what perspective that is. Maybe he will, maybe he won't. I don't really know. I don't know. He has these phases where he goes silent, but that's okay because I've gone through it that many times. Each time he goes silent, it gets easier for me,
Yeah, because then you could just have this pure love in your chest without any, disgusting things.
I
And
know if this journey has taught me anything, it's that what somebody says or does to you has often fuck all to do with you personally. Yeah.
yep,
And when they're yelling at you and calling you names, you represent something within them that they can't deal with. And that is not your problem. When you've got a masculine that's cussing and or saying nothing and going silent or whatever, I've learned not to take that personally anymore because it's not my shit. It's his. Yeah,
yeah.
I represent something that he doesn't want to address within himself. That is not my issue. Not my issue. My issue, it's what I meant to be doing is triggering that issue so he has the opportunity to address it. But if he doesn't choose to do that, there's not really a lot I can do, You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make the fucker drink without drowning it,
Yeah.
So I just leave it at that. If he needs to go quiet, if he needs to make me believe or want to make me believe that he doesn't care, if that makes his life easier, then, you know, if he
I was
needs that for himself to feel relief or secure or whatever, have
so I'll
it.
talk so I want to talk a little bit about dating, right? So I actually started talking to someone. I don't know if I like him yet, but I do like talking to him. So let's just say, I don't know what the future brings, but let's just say that I end up falling in love with someone and having a relationship and forget about my ex. Does it mean that he was never my twin?
No, no, because if he's your twin, you're only ever delayed, you're never over. No, but I didn't date because I was waiting around for him. I didn't date because I felt like I was pushed into that intense healing that I felt as though I needed to get to know myself, become who it is that I was meant to be, and
Yeah.
accept myself and love myself before I can even think about loving another person.
Look at this. Once you become very healed and spiritual and you love yourself, don't you notice how everyone starts to gravitate towards you?
Yes, and that's not always a good thing.
Men, they just keep sending messages and they keep flirting me, and I'm like, I don't know what to do with all this attention now.
Well, the thing is, when you're in that energy, yes, you attract, but you also attract a lot of people that don't match your energy.
Yeah.
Now, often their encounter with you is more to their benefit than it ever will be for yours. Do
Yeah.
you see what I'm saying? As divine feminines, true divine feminines, we're beacons of light in to a lot of very, very dark people in dark places, you know? And this is one reason why I do what I do as a profession, because it allows me to heal these people and deal with them without letting it into my own personal space or personal life, because that lower vibrational stuff is what I can't deal with.
Okay, so let's talk about that. Have you helped a lot of people? Like, do you have any success stories, any reunions?
I've got 2 unions.
Talk about positive. Well, tell us about that.
Two. Um, well, The twin that contacted me about her divine masculine, her and her twin, when they met, didn't even speak the same language. They were communicating over Google Translate, which I found interesting to observe. Yeah. And when they went into separation, she didn't, because he was on the other side of the world, she didn't ever think that it would happen. She just got on with her job, raised their kids, focused on her. And all of a sudden, she just got this letter telling her to meet her at Heathrow Airport on such and such a date and such a time. And he actually came to see her and got off the plane.
Was it? They together now?
Yeah, she's moved over there.
Wow, she moved. So they fell in love over just text messages?
No, she was over there in a university placement when she met him, and then she flew back home.
What happened again?
Yeah.
And they good now. They together.
Yes, they're in harmonious. They've been in a harmonious union now for 3 years.
Oh, that's so nice. All
So,
right, let's think positive.
so
Harmonious sounds good.
I also know another twin flame pair on YouTube. I know a couple on YouTube actually that have gone into union and sacred mission with their twins, you know, that are doing readings with their twins, helping other twins. I know quite a couple of twin flames that have made it their mission to help others.
Nice. I gotta find them. I gotta find those people. Okay. So I wanted to talk about telepathically talking, communicating with your twin. I loved that episode. I really loved it. And that same night I went and I said to him, I was like, you better give me my money back. I mean, that would be a good first step. You know, owe me money. It's not for you to keep. It's not yours. You money. Why don't you just come and give me my money back? At least get on my better side, you know? So we'll see what happens with that. And then I had sexy time with him on telepathically. And then the next day you did the reading and you said he's thinking about sexy time a lot. So I wonder if that's related. But
yes, it
you
is.
know,
It is. Because when we're intimate with our twins on the astral plane, it does sort of residually stay behind in our consciousness. You know, we do have thoughts about this. Sometimes even flashbacks of what we were dreaming about or what we were doing on the astral plane. So, you know,
the dreams too a lot. Do you have a lot of dreams?
yes.
Because I don't remember. I stopped dreaming since I started taking mushrooms. I process all my emotions.
My twin, he hijacks my 5D. I'll be dreaming about something completely different, and all of a sudden I'll look around and I'll find myself somewhere totally different.
Jacks your sleep.
Yeah.
Oh, the
Yeah, he hijacks 5D. If he wants to speak to me, I will be summoned.
How do you go to the 5D? I mean, through meditation, right?
Yes, meditation in your sleep state. When we dream, we're in the 5th, 6th, 7th sometimes. We can
Okay,
go.
okay, so what happened to the 4D then? There's a 3D and a 5D. What
Right,
happened
well,
to the
we're
4D?
skipping that because that is the dimension that is the 4th. How can I explain the 4th? Let me see. The 4th isn't quite as dense as our reality. It's easier to manifest in the 4th. But in the 5th, you could manifest at will.
Like I said, somebody in the spiritual community was saying like 4D, 3D, 5D, and somebody wrote, I'm DW40. I was dying laughing. All these, definitions, they're like gibberish. I'm DW40. So I don't.
These 3D and 5D labels are basically to describe a higher state of consciousness. That's it, really. It's a higher state of consciousness. It's a way of describing that you've leveled up in consciousness, that you see in between the veil of what society deems as reality. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's why everybody's talking. Like, I just started looking at spirituality. I just started looking at spiritual content, and that's when people are saying about the quantum jump and like the matrix, like all of that. For now, I don't really understand yet.
Okay, the matrix, what we call the matrix, is basically a constructed reality. It's the part that your brain says is real and that the chair you're sitting in is solid and what you can touch is solid. Yeah. So that is that part of your awareness to be able to live in our physical world. Yeah. It's basically a label for different states of consciousness, as I said. And when you can see through what society tells you is reality, and you can see spiritual truth, and you're then able to only interact with the 3D instead of having to dwell there in a 3D job or, alike. When you've left the rat race, that's when you've got out of the matrix, when you're no longer dependent on the system that keeps you in self-limiting mindsets or beliefs. Yeah.
I was just talking about it today. I did a spirituality episode this morning, and I was like, something happens to you. I got spiritually awakened by accident. I was not looking for it. It just happened to me, because of my twin flame and
Nothing is
because of
ever
my
by accident. There are
well,
incidences. There are
well,
only
I'm
God
saying
incidences.
was
Yeah.
saying I wasn't doing the work. Like I didn't say, let me, get into the 5D and let me meditate. Like I did not have that intention. I just wanted to feel better. That's all I wanted. I just wanted to stop hurting. And then I ended up, getting in touch with my higher self. And once you get there, you never go back. You have
No.
that knowledge now.
This
And I
is
was
what. Do you remember the movie where Morpheus says, once you've detached, you can never get hooked up again. Yeah, it's
yeah,
over. It's done.
yeah,
You see through the illusion, and
yeah.
that's what happens. You know.
It becomes a little hard because you still have to deal with your 3D, and you might have children that do not understand what's going on, like my son. But he's coming along. He likes the changes in me. He likes that I'm always happy. He loves that. But he was saying like, "Mom, why are you so spiritual? Why we always eat healthy now? And I don't believe all this stuff that you say." Like I'm trying to teach him to only speak positive, to never say anything negative, etc. No, I don't believe it because I can't see it. I was like, yeah, you can't see it, but science already proven.
Right. He can see it. This is where we all make the mistake. You can actually see it. You've just got to know what you're looking at. Yeah.
Well, the kids is too early for them to understand that. So,
Well, actually, I disagree because the younger you are, the more you're still in your higher self.
right, they're most authentic when they're little. So, what do you think I should continue, teaching him about this stuff?
Yes, because even if he's not receptive to it now, spirit will send him physical experiences that will make what you're teaching him make sense. Thinking about this with someone not so long ago, she said to me, Spirit keeps telling me I'm a light worker, but I don't do any light work. I just have conversations with people. And I said, well, that still means that you're a light worker. You're what you could call a seed planter. Yeah. You plant the seed. Spirit will send them the experience that they need for that seed to crack open and germinate. That is not your business.
Yeah.
How that takes place, that's none of your beeswax. But you were put there to plant the seed.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah. Let me share something with you. I'm preaching about this medicine to everybody. Nobody wants to hear. Everybody thinks it's weird. So now, one of my friends texted me today, and it turns out that her own husband has been that medicine into little microdosing pills and taken it, and she didn't even know about it. So synchronicities, I let her know about this, and then she ended up finding out that it's in my house. I can take it anytime, and my husband is doing that. And she said, how come you didn't tell me? And he goes, I did tell you. So it didn't resonate. So now that I'm preaching it to her, and she heard it from him, and then she ran into an article about microdosing moms, and all those three things together. So I planted the seed, and now she's gonna change her life, I hope.
See what I mean? See what I mean?
Yeah.
See what I
And
mean?
my son, oh my God, that was a sign from the universe. Something just fell off the wall. Anyway, my
What was it?
son, it was oh my God, I'm gonna show you right now. Hold on. It's love. It's love. Hold on. This is sick. Hold on. Let me fix my mic. Look what just fell off the wall.
Oh my God.
It's an embroidery I made.
Oh my
of a
God.
heart.
That's
So yeah, but
confirmation
of what though?
of what we're
No.
talking about. So spirit is showing us that us talking about love and synchronicities, that it's all true, you know.
Oh, this is sick. I can't believe. And today I was recording an episode, and I never look at the time ever, like on the side. I looked at the time, it was 11:11. I was like, oh my God, guys, I just saw 11:11. Like, it's
I
just
saw
crazy.
11:11 today, funnily enough.
I see it, and I've been seeing it a lot more actually. I've been seeing it on my coffee maker that has the wrong time and everywhere. And I mean,
Wow.
I've seen those since I was like in my early 20s. That's when I started seeing those. Then for a little while I stopped, and I told my twin about 11:11, and then he kept seeing it, and we kept sending it to each other all the time.
Yeah.
Is that a synchronicity too?
Yes, it is. And
Want to add?
yeah, if anyone listening to this needs to know anything about this, yeah,
Yeah.
come and check out my YouTube channel. I've got videos on there that you'll find useful and informative, and they can sort of give you an idea of what's going on, and you can see whether this is actually going on for you or not, you
Yeah,
know.
because once you start talking, once me and you started talking, we had so many similarities. Even mentioned that. So you told me that when you went to university, it was the only time that you were able to not think about him. And
Yes.
I had the same thing in the school building. I could be bawling, crying on the way to work for an hour. As I approach the building, I wipe my eyes, I walk in, and I forget about him. Like he doesn't even exist. And then as soon as I walk out that building, I didn't even get to my car yet. As
Yeah.
soon as I stepped out of the door, it's like hits me
Yeah.
in my chest.
Overwhelmed. Yeah.
And the same thing happened to you, right?
Yes, it did. It did. It got to the point where I couldn't sleep at night, and I would take an Uber back to the university library, curl up in one of their chairs just so I could go to sleep.
I'm so sorry that you had to go through this because I think it's terrible.
In a way, I don't regret any of it. I'm glad that it happened as and when it did, because it changed my whole life. It changed my career. It changed how I
Yeah.
deal with myself. It changed how I see myself. It changed my aspirations career wise. It changed everything. Everything. Absolutely fucking everything.
And
And
yeah.
I'm glad it did, you know.
Just talking about it today. When I came to this country by myself, I did not have a family, nothing like that. So it was okay because I had my husband. It was a nice. But when we got divorced, and I started looking at friends from, from work, girls that have a nice family, they're wealthy, maybe the parents take care of them. They got married early to a great guy. They have a house. They have kids. I'd be like so jealous. I was like, why don't I have a smooth life like that? Why do I have to always suffer with my emotions? And I just realized it now that if I had that type of sheltered, comfortable life, I would never get to where I am now. I would just be comfortable. I would never even try to strive for more. Find out the truth.
Comfort has killed more dreams
Yeah,
than laziness ever could.
that's it. Yeah. Because now I'm
So,
thinking I would not spend all my money to get a mortgage. I will not do that. If I have money, I'm going to invest in it into a dating app and, and just sit down and relax and wait. I have any type of money, I will invest it into helping people first. And then maybe I'll get something out of it.
well, this is why I keep, putting money back into my business, because that's why I started my channel. Because I
Yeah.
realized that a lot of people have got a lot of misconceptions when it comes to men, women, relationships, and love in general, never mind the twin flame thing. So that on top, causes a lot of people to, wow, spin totally out of control and be over emotional and over respond to things and get triggered, and all that pain and suffering that the whole journey sort of kicks off within you. It's
Yeah.
like that for a reason, but it
Yeah.
doesn't make it any easier to deal with.
But I feel like from now on everything's gonna be okay. I feel like from now on, even if something painful happens, I'll just accept it and I'll just surrender.
Well,
I am,
while as a divine feminine, you learn to look at things from a higher perspective. So when
yeah,
you have hurtful things happen to you, me in my situation, my twin released his karmic situation, and I was pushed into the same energy and had to release mine. Mine was ancestral karma that I had
ancestral
to,
ancestral karma. Did you find that out?
because it was connected to my family and what I
Oh,
believe about what family is and what I
mm,
believe about how to deal with your family, even if its members are toxic. I always used to believe that you have to love your relatives no matter what, because blood is thicker than water. And my life has actually, in its experience, taught me something totally contradictory.
yeah.
It's often that I don't have any blood ties with, that I feel more family with than people that I'm related to.
To wrap it up, I'm gonna give your YouTube channel. I'm gonna put it on the description, and it is Wednesdays
Twin
Twin
Flame
Flame.
TV, and yeah.
Okay, so Wednesdays Twin Flame TV and tarot. Oh, I didn't see your tarot readings. I want to go watch them now. I want
I've
to.
only
I want
got
to.
2 on there, but I'm going to post more on there.
And yeah, the reading that you gave me was very, very accurate. And let's also mention, because we'll see what happens, but when you did the reading, the Divine Union card came out right away. And
Yes.
then you put it back in the deck, right? And then you split the deck and it was right in there again.
Yeah. I,
Yeah, so that means that we might reunite. And you said if he's coming back, he's not going to be wishy-washy. He's going to be good and harmonious, etc. So I mean, we'll see. But like you said, I have to be patient. That's what teaches you is patience
yes.
and focus on myself.
First and foremost, patience with yourself. Because
Yeah.
as a feminine, we all get worried about the when and the how. Because we know the day they've left us that they're coming back. We just don't know when.